Good morning, everybody. My name is Silvia. Today, I will bring a case about a human rights activist in Indonesia, and I will give some advice about this case. First, I will give an overview about this case. Munir Talib, he was one of the rights activists in Indonesia. As a human rights activist, Munir cited many cases, especially on humanitarian and human rights issues. His failure in the fight against injustice with the government of the New Order made Munir unpopular with officials and dignitaries. Munir was considered a threat to the government. Munir was often threatened by some, but he remained fearless. On his way to the Netherlands to continue his studies, Munir was pronounced dead on a plane. Munir's death was thought to be a result of Munir drinking orange juice to have poison in it. It's been almost 17 years, and to this day, the case of Munir has not been made clear. The court did convict Pollycarpus Budihari Priyanto supposedly committed the murder. A number of facts state that there was a state intelligence agency involved in the case, but in December 2008, Deputy 5 State Intelligence Agency Meyor General Muchdi Purwoprandrandjono, who had previously been accused, was acquitted of all charges. Munir's wife, Suciwati, and other human rights activists keep asking the government to question the case fully. But Suciwati feels the government is just throwing its responsibilities at each other. Suciwati continued to appeal, but when proposing in Supreme Court, they decided to reject the accusation. Until now, there is no known reason why Munir was killed. So far, the assumption is that Munir was killed for calling him to account for a number of past human rights violations. As a lawyer, I suggest for the government, first, immediately announce the result of an inquiry by a fact-finding team in the case of the death of Munir to the public in 2004 and followed up on his recommendation to the finish. For the second, taking strong and serious action in the liquidation of the murder of Munir by calling the Attorney General, Chief Constable, Minister of Law and Human Rights, as well as related officials to determine concrete measures of government to solve Munir's case. For the third, ordering the Attorney General to file a review of the court ruling that exonerates former Deputy 5 Muchdi Purwoprandrandjono by fortifying all available evidence and new evidence to make use of the PK effort. And last, prompt the amendment of the Act number 39 in 1999 about human rights, including a provision specifically for the protection of human rights advocates so that future cases of violence against the defense may not be repeated. I think Munir's case is just one of the many cases of human rights violations that have not come to light. I think the laws of Indonesia should be strengthened, especially on human rights, because for me, today they only apply to weak people. People in higher positions escape from justice more readily. We can see from other countries that some countries out there strictly enforce the law without regard for the rank and position of a person. On the other hand, in Indonesia, many officials bribe several state institutions to release themselves from the grip of law. Well, would I say such a thing? This has been proved by the relentless flow of cases of humanity. If this is consistently ignored and left unchecked, it is not. Maybe people move against the government, and perhaps Indonesia will eventually collapse on itself. Out of this, I am outraged by the relentless nature of the case. Despite the fact that the suspected killer Munir has been imprisoned and free. But at present, there is no known motive as to why Munir was killed. Suspending like this would no doubt make many people, especially human rights activists, dissatisfied with the government's performance. Promise after promise continued, but in the end, the case of almost 17 years of age was never finished. From this moment, I reflect. We need concrete action, not just sheer nonsense. Everything we put out our mouth must be accounted for. From activists, I also learned about caring for others. It is strengthened because in Loyola we are tough men and women for others, where we strive to be useful to one another, both human and other living creatures. I think that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.